Welcome back to AM Northwest. It's a new podcast for anyone who's ever wondered whether they're on the right path, and if they're not, how to head off in a better direction. Here to share more, we welcome the host of the new podcast, Work, Shape, Life, Dave Weich. Good to have you with us, Dave.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What inspired the podcast?
I've always been kind of fascinated with work and the paths that people choose.
Right.
In part, just how many different paths there really are. And now we're at a moment where work feels less certain than ever, particularly when you look into the future.
Right. You're speaking of AI and...
everything really. I think things have been accelerating for a while,
Right.
and now suddenly we have AI, which I think has made a lot of people question how secure their jobs are.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot of that coming together at once.
Let's talk about what started it all. So you say, we mentioned AI, but what else?
I grew up, like I said, with a real fascination about this. I had a quote from Ecclesiastes on the side of my computer in college, which is funny, and I should say I found it in the liner notes of a John Mellencamp album. So this was not a real sort of intellectual pursuit, but the quote is basically about that people should be happy in their work because that's what they're here for.
Right.
And so I was 18, 19, 20 years old, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, but being happy in it seemed like a really sort of solid foundation to work from.
I like the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it's that. And now I'm still wondering, all these years later, like, what do people choose? Why do they choose
Right.
it? And then, of course, in our work lives, some things happen to us that are not by choice.
Right.
And how do you respond?
Right, absolutely. You say the old roadmap to career success is not the same.
Yeah, things are changing. I don't know that it's ever been stable for
No.
a really long period of time, but I think
things do change.
things change. Industries change. Industries come and go. But I think, I interviewed a professor at Willamette University, for instance. So he's with students all the time. And the way he put it was it's about the length of the horizon that, when I was young, you felt reasonably confident that the sort of job path you were imagining was going to be there for you. And that horizon has gotten shorter and shorter. People trying to imagine 5 years out are challenged, but 10, 20 years out?
Right.
And I think that's what people are grappling with these days.
What are you seeing, when you say they're grappling with it, what have you seen? Like, can you give me any examples?
Again, it's different for everyone. And I think one of the real interesting parts of this series to me is that, first of all, everyone's different, but also there are different career stages. And so a person in their 20s is really asking different questions and struggling with different challenges than a person in their 30s, 40s, 50s. And I think it's affecting everyone, but in different ways. It's a personal challenge, I think.
You say it really isn't just a career, it isn't just a job, it's the shape of your life.
Right. I think what's interesting to me is the way that work impacts your life and the way your life impacts work. So for instance, just from the start, you have your family, you have your school, you may have church or that kind of community, but the people you meet at work occupy a lot of your time and show you a lot of what you come to know of the world, opinions that you may adopt or reject, physical spaces and conversations that really help you understand where you fit or don't fit.
Right.
And I think, again, for everyone that's different and highly personal.
I've always heard some people work to live and others live to work. And that seems to me to be still very true. Some people have a job so they can have fun outside of work.
Yeah. And I admire that, honestly. Like, I tend to live to work. And not really, but I want my work to be meaningful.
Right. You want to have fun in your job.
I want to have fun and I want to feel like there's purpose. But honestly, sometimes I'm a little envious of people who aren't engaged in the same way. They may be committed to doing their job well, but the minute they clock out,
they're done.
They're done.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
You say a detour often becomes a true path, which so many of us hit detours and then it becomes what we really love to do.
Right. Again, because sometimes things happen to you that you don't expect, and that could start off bad. You could get laid off. It could just be that an opportunity arises you never foresaw.
Right. And
20 years down the road, you're like, I guess this is who I am now.
Yeah, this is who I am. Yeah. Self-knowledge, you say, is reshaping career fit.
Well, I think people these days are more self-aware and more in their heads, whether it's therapy or whatever it may be, they're striving to find meaning and purpose and a good feeling in their work. And I think maybe in a way that is a little different than generations past. Certainly if I think about my father, he wanted to earn a living and put food on the table for his kids. And
Yeah.
I honestly don't think he thought that far beyond that.
Right.
And I think it's more and more common these days for people to really seek meaning and
Right.
feel like if they're not entitled, that there is the potential to find that meaning.
Yeah.
That meaning.
Wow, this is such a good topic for so many people.
Yeah.
We want to tell everyone that your podcast releases when again?
May 11th.
Monday, Work Shape Life. Dave Weich, thank you so much. A lot to think about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.